what a mess it is when you go to buy a vehicle. Do you buy electric? Do you buy diesel? Do you buy petrol? Who's hammering you? How will you be penalised in the future? What will your resale value be? Well, one thing we can now tell you, after 10 years ago under Gordon Brown being told and being incentivised to buy diesel vehicles, so everybody goes and does that, and now the UK has the highest diesel prices on the continent. So where does that leave you? Your analysis shows retailers are not passing on falling prices of diesel fuel.
Unbelievable. We understand that forecourts are selling diesel at an average of 155 pence a litre. That's 5 pence a litre more than anywhere else. OK, joining us now, Managing Director of MotorVise, Fraser Brown, on this. Fraser, why is this happening? Who's getting away with it?
It's really interesting. There's been a real shift in fuel retailing in the United Kingdom over the last 10 years. There used to be a significant number of independent retailers. Now what we've seen is the percentage of fuel. We now have 80% of fuel retailed, more than 80% of fuel retailed to customers is supplied by just 7 oil companies and supermarkets. And the relationship between those oil companies and supermarkets is very, very close. So what we're seeing is margins for retailers increase significantly. We're sitting at around 18 pence per litre is what we're seeing for retailers at the moment in terms of what margin they're taking out of the fuel, which is a massive growth over anything that we've seen previously in the last 10 years. And if I look at how the fuel prices are over here in England, Wales and Scotland, they're significantly higher than they are in places like Northern Ireland. So I spent some time there on Monday. I was able to fill my car up with diesel for £1.44. So that's 10 pence a litre cheaper over there. And the interesting difference with Northern Ireland is they still have a very significant number of independent retailers. So there's got to be some question marks asked of the big oil companies and the supermarkets as to why the margins for them have gone up so much.
Wait a minute now, you're actually telling me things are cheaper in Northern Ireland?
Historically, fuel in Northern Ireland was always more expensive.
Well, that's what my mouth's hanging open at, because we always pay more than everybody else because we're on the periphery of Europe and transportation costs are much higher and whatever, and we've got nobody to represent us, so the price was always significantly higher. So I'm amazed, and I'm amazed at the reasoning behind this, because the big boys don't own the market there.
Yeah, it's really great. Northern Ireland's a very different place to the rest of the United Kingdom in terms of it's more local. People will buy from people who are local, and as a result, they've retained their small independent fuel stations because they're often not just a fuel station. They're often the community hub, the shop, kind of everything goes retained there. In North Yorkshire, where I am now, we only have one real independent retailer, and that's a little retailer called Catterick Service Station. They're selling fuel at up to 10 pence a litre cheaper than the local supermarket. So one thing I would say to consumers is, please don't be lulled into the old-fashioned view that supermarkets are cheaper, because they are not. And this relationship that exists between the likes of the supermarkets and the oil companies, I can't say for sure because I'm not an oil company or a supermarket, but the fact that they retail over 80% of the fuel between them, and the fact that they have a very close relationship for the supply of this fuel, I really do think there are time to ask some serious questions around what's going on with fuel retailing in England, Wales and Scotland.
And I do wonder why this isn't happening on continental Europe, where presumably they have big supermarkets and independent retailers as well, but it seems to be a uniquely British problem, certainly at the moment. Fraser, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much for highlighting this issue, although I'm sure a lot of people at home are well aware of it. Fraser Brown, appreciate your time. From
MotorVise. The other thing we have, talking about Northern Irish petrol stations, and folks back me up on this, is we have amazing shops, not just decent shops, not like all these things attached to petrol stations in England, and they think, they attach Marks and Spencer's to it or Waitrose to it, and that's enough. Oh gosh, we have got superstores, absolutely beautiful shops, shops that you want to spend time in.
What, like farm shop type things? But
no, shops that I walked into recently, and it was like Christmas. It was like you can buy every amount of chocolate that you want and every luxury that there is. Absolutely incredible. You know what I'm talking about. You know, go to Hollywood or go to the Lisburn Road or go wherever. There are beautiful, beautiful stores extended there. And that will be the template, I would think, for the rest of the country very, very shortly. Tell me if I'm wrong. And obviously, I mean, they may be more expensive and whatever, but they are beautiful.